hello, and welcome. My name is Barbara J. Beckley, and if you're looking at top where it says the Coaches Lounge, you are in the right place. Yes, you are at the Coaches Lounge with yours truly, and this is what we do. We spotlight experts' advice for life and in business. I created this show, and I always like to tell, the birth of it because how important I feel like coaches, consultant, educators. I put them in all grouping here. But one thing all three of them have that they all do the same is they help others achieve people's goals, dreams, and aspirations in life. That's a lot. That's a lot. And I was like, they are not getting the love that they should get. They're not getting the kudos or just to hear the story or just to say, you know what, you're doing a good job with the people that you're helping out. So, little birdie, well, the birdie was me, said in my ear, I think I want to create a show because like I said, if it's not built right, build it yourself. So that's what I did. I built a show called The Coaches Lounge because I want to show the love. I want people to really get to know the different coaches in the world and understand what they do for others. Taking on, some coaches stay with you for maybe months, maybe years, maybe forever. I have one coach in my life right now, this prime example, that we've been together for over maybe 15 years. This is a life coach. And she's seen me go through, and believe me, she can probably tell you more than anybody. It wasn't pretty in some cases. In fact, it was probably she wanted to say, okay, I'm going to go stage left and I just want to leave you here. But she didn't. And that's why I had to give so much to the coaches, consultant educators, because they can anytime just buckle up and say, you know what, this is not even me. This is you. I'm trying to help you out. And they can just go, but they don't. You have some coaches out there are just there for you till the end. Sometimes with you, even when your family members or your friends or associates are not there, they're there. So you see why all the love should come right now, right? So when I bring on these coaches, I'd be so happy because, like I said, I admire them, I commend them, and you learn from them. So with this, like maybe 20, 25 minutes of interviews that I do, I want you to really take some notes and get to know, first of all, their personality, get to know who they are, what they do, and understand the journeys that they've been through. Because see, coaches, they just don't just be born and be like, hey, I'm a coach. No, things happen. They went through their low valleys to get to where they are right now. So we're going to meet, oh my God, this wonderful lady. And it's feel like I've been knowing her for years. It's like, I love when I can meet people like maybe last week or last month, and I feel like I've been knowing them for a lifetime. That means that there's a connection there and they have good souls. This lady has a soul. I'm talking about, I've seen her on Facebook. I've seen her a few times. We've been in some things together. And I said, Tina, I need to have you on the show. And she's like, okay, now I know, like you said, I always tell some backroom stories because, I always like to be open. Yeah, we planned it a few times and some was on my end, but some was on her where she couldn't avoid. Okay, things happen in life. And I don't want to tell her story because that's her story. But let's just say, let's put prayers out for her because she had to deal with something when we had our time before. And I always say when those times happen, there's a reason for it because even though she's in her life doing other things, she's still, see, this is one thing about a coach. Just a little tip before I bring her on. She's still coaching. You know how she's coaching and showing leadership? Because she's showing up in her family lives, in her friends, and she's still there. She's still present. And that's what I love about Tina. Because if she's present in that kind of way, she's going to be present in your life if she comes on as a client to you. So saying all that, we got to welcome this lady. She's a celebrity. She is a leader on top of leaders. She's a coach. She helps women. She has a coaching company. She targets women who's looking for a career to change, what they want to start, to provide, which I love that because I work with women too in that kind of that capacity. And she's an author. Congratulations to her on that. And then I also want to just say she just, like I said, has a heart of gold. So let's meet this lady. Let's meet this lady and get a chance to talk to her some more. We will be right back after this. Barbara J. Beckley, and I'm a visibility and social media strategist. Hello, Queen. As you know, you're a queen. We're just going to put that first before we even start the conversation.
Thank you, Barbara. Thank you. It's so great to be here. Thank you for the kind words you've shared. You made my day. You really did.
Yay! I like to hear that because that's at least going to do something. I want to make a person's day and put a smile on their face. So I'm so glad that I see that smile and it's beautiful. So,
thank you. Thank you.
And you know, as I always tell people, I said it before, I call the lady queens that come on because you're royalty. So we got that established. And also, let me get established before we start getting to know you, lady, more, is that I appreciate you coming and taking your time because time is of the essence. And I don't see, take that lightly. So thank you for coming on the Coaches Lounge to share your expertise.
Well, thank you, Barbara. It's a pleasure and an honor to be here and share my story to your audience.
Yes. So let's get right into it because I know for you being this brilliant coach and you're helping these people and you have all these 7 steps that you do with them and all this stuff. But before all that happened, I want to pull that curtain. So give us a little insight of that.
Okay, so my journey began, I've been in training and development is my background in recruiting. And however, in my field, one day I got laid off from the corporate world. And I've always gone to jobs and always been motivated by money and advancement opportunities. And so this one day, many years ago, I got laid off from the corporate world and I had just been promoted as an area trainer and I love training. And in one of my training classes, a student said to me, have you ever considered being a coach? And I never even knew I didn't even know what a coach meant. So I started to do some research. What is a coach? And I wanted to be one. So during my research, I said, I knew I wanted to be a coach. I didn't know what kind of coach to be. And then I got laid off. And I believe that things happen sometimes for a reason, and a door closed and another door opened that day. And I started really networking. And in my networking, because I firmly believe in connecting with like-minded people, I was a real fan of the law of attraction. If your audience knows The Secret, the movie The Secret, and that we can manifest things in our life. And so through networking, because I wanted to meet a group, I set an intention, I wanted to meet like-minded individuals. I network and I was introduced to a tool on how to discover your passions. And this tool really helped me to get clarity around my own passions. What did I want to do with the rest of my career? Because when I got laid off, there was a lot of uncertainty. There's a lot of fear. So, many of us may have gone through that. I had never lost a job. And it was on November 19th, so it was before the holiday. And so at the time I was a single mom with 2 kids, and I found myself really worried and scared. But I said, you know what? I'm going to figure out a way. I'm going to figure out what I want to do. I love training, but I wasn't able to travel as a trainer. So I was really looking for something local. And I was commuting into New York City. I live in Connecticut. And I was commuting into the city for an hour and a half each way, 3 hours a day of my time in the city. Survived 9/11. I was supposed to be in the Twin Towers that day. And I canceled an appointment and I'm here today. So that happened 2 years before I got laid off. And then I got laid off. And so I started my business helping women find their passion. Because in my research, I learned that over 85% of women are unfulfilled, they're unhappy. They just have no direction. They're not dreaming anymore. Or I was one of them. I never even knew about dreaming. I just felt like, well, you just go get a job, you make money, come home, and you have a family, and then that's it, and you start all over again the next day.
Mm.
I had never considered entrepreneurship.
Mm-hmm.
That was the furthest thing from my mind.
Mm-hmm.
And so I really started my business with this tool. However, it wasn't sustainable. And so I went to a job, back to a job out of fear, because a lot of things that hold us back is right here. It's the fear of failure, fear of success, fear of being judged, fear that you're just not going to make money. And so I went to a job and I got a position as a talent acquisition specialist. So I stayed building my business part-time, working full-time. And I was a very good recruiter until in 2018, I got fired. And I've never been fired either. So I said, wow, this is really good, because I was building my business and now I got fired because voicing my opinion about something. And I said, you know, God, this is meant for me to build my business. So it's time I build my business, because I was working my business for 6 years part-time. And so that's how, you know, my business was called Life is Ideal. That was my former name, but today it's From Job to Joy. I rebranded last year because I really help women go from their corporate 9 to 5 into entrepreneurship, because they may have an idea, but they don't know how to implement it, how to make an impact from that idea. So I can help you go from that idea to making an impact in your life. And so today, 5 years later, I have to say I am not working at a job. And here's the thing I've learned too. Entrepreneurship is not for everybody. And working a 9 to 5 is good. And it's important that you align your values and your strengths to the right career. Follow your passion is so important. Are you working in the right career? Are you doing what you love every day?
Yes.
That is so important to me. Yeah. So that's my mission.
Oh my God. So we gotta peel, because you said, oh, so many good golden nuggets here. Well, first of all, I applaud you for being a warrior, because not only once but twice. And that's why I tell people, either you gotta make that decision when things happen in your life. First time laid off, second time fired.
Yes.
Now you had the opportunity to go the other direction. And what I mean by, feeling sorry for yourself, having a pity party, not saying that maybe we didn't do it at the time, because I tell people we're human too. So when things hit, you might react that way for a second, but it depends on if you stay in it. So what you did, warrior queen, you're like, okay, this is opportunity. This is a reason why that this happened. See, you thought of it in that way, where you didn't flip it the other way and say, why me? And maybe this is all it's about. I love how you said, I think we've been conditioned, especially, I think it deals with the different, how we were raised, because I know I was raised, I think we're both in the same age group, where my mother was like, okay, you go to school, you get a job, you stay on, you retire.
Exactly.
Okay. And then everything else is just, that's it, just what you do. And you make sure you're not bad at work so you don't get fired or they let you go. That's what she would basically say.
Exactly. It's so true. I mean, even to this day, I have yet to tell my family I was fired. Wow. Because they would be looking at me like, what do you mean you got fired? Yes. Like, what's wrong with you?
Yeah.
Because we're conditioned. We're conditioned that, yes, you go get a job, you stay there forever. No, it's not forever, because I was not happy, but yet I was scared. And I stayed in a job that I was unhappy because it was comfortable.
Yes.
And I made very good money. I wasn't happy though.
No.
All right. And so I believe that God pushed me out and said, you got to do this business that you've been wanting to do for years, but you just didn't have the courage to just make it happen full time. Yeah. So the timing has to be right.
Timing has to be right. And, just going back to what you said, which popped something in my head when you said, you felt comfortable. You knew a paycheck was coming in. You knew that you can get certain stuff paid. You were saving. All that was going on because that happens to a lot of us.
Yes.
And, we felt, like you said, put God in it, because I believe in that too, that he's okay. I got to make you uncomfortable because I need you to do something bigger than what you're doing. I needed you to do something with your passion. You're just going through, life like that. And he didn't want that. Or, you didn't want that. Really
Exactly.
behind the scenes. But like you said, stuff happens. What did you say earlier about fear? And like you said, now you feel uncomfortable. Like, okay, now what do I do? I said, and it's funny how sometimes if you don't push yourself to do what needs to be done, then something's going to force you to do it.
Exactly. So I was forced to do it because I, was always making excuses. And I think that a lot of us make excuses, because we're comfortable, like I said, and we just continue to make excuses. So I was forced out and I said, I am not getting a job. I'm going to make this work.
Yes.
No matter what.
Any means necessary.
Yeah, any means necessary. And so 5 years later, I'm proud to say I am working my business and showing up. And I love what you said. I show up, and for my clients, I show up for myself.
Yes.
I want to make an impact and to women, because too many of them are just miserable.
Yeah. And I hear, this is why I love, that's why I like to hear the stories of where, people came from, because that's where I see and I hear that passion coming from you. And when you have that, that's what I was saying earlier about wherever you are, Tina, wherever you're at, like I said, family or whatever, your passion is going to explode and it's going to be such an impact where people are going to feel it. And that's what happens in what you do. So it's so easy just to work with you. It's so easy to say, okay, especially when you said, hey, I've been through this. Look, I'm just like your story. I've been both aspects. And the thing that I'm glad you mentioned, which I want people to take from this, what you said was powerful. When you mentioned the fact that when you got fired the second time around, and people, first thing people say, well, what did you do? What was wrong with you? See, that's deep, because a lot of times, most of the time, I don't want to put a percentage out there, it's not really you. it's basically, for getting fired to say, because I know some people get fired. Yeah, you get fired because if you didn't do so. I get all that. But you were standing your ground. You were basically saying, okay, I'm saying I'm being a voice here.
I'm being a voice. I'm using my voice.
Using my voice. So I tell people, don't think it's strange. Sometimes it happens for a reason. Like you said, what happened for you, you blossom into your own business. But I just want people to look at that and say, don't just put it all on you, because it always takes 2 or 3 or 4 to tango.
Exactly. Absolutely.
Sometimes there's a few other people tangling with you except just you, another person. But so just take a look at that, because see, that will stop people right there by saying, well, I got fired, so oh well, what do I do now? I'm nobody. I'm a loser. I can't do my own business. I couldn't even keep a job. See, that I don't want people to
think, right? Because the head trash that we put in ourselves, I mean, the negative self-talk. Yeah, I could have said that, but I was so excited. I walked out of there like, oh my God, I can't believe this is really happening right now. Wow. That's how happy I was, because I was finally free. And this is why, my first book is about freedom, because I really want to help you to find freedom in your life and business, because there's so many barriers that keep us from achieving that freedom.
Yes.
Okay. And that's really was such an important value of mine, is to really have the freedom to do what you want to do with whom you want to do it on your own terms, not be on someone else's clock.
And that feels I know that's so rejuvenating, just to even say that and to have that to do.
Absolutely. Absolutely. We're the CEO of our life. And I really feel like being an entrepreneur, you're in the driver's seat, and you decide every day how you're going to show up. What are you going to do every day? Who are you going to help? What are the gifts that you're going to put out there? Because we all have gifts. We all have talents and abilities. And I think that a lot of us are not using our talents enough. We're not maximizing our potential.
Yeah, you're so true. And I'm glad that you say that to your clients and remind them of that. I love your job to joy, because in your title, in your rebranding, you're showing the bridge what you do for others. I
Exactly.
love that you show that bridge. It's like, okay, you know what? I'm going to take you from this to joy, because we all need joy. We all want to do our passion. And that just tells it right there. So as soon as I look at that, I'm like, I want joy.
Who doesn't want joy, right? Yeah. So how can you find joy? Well, I can help you get clarity around what you want to do. I can help you start a business, create a framework, really create that roadmap for you so that you can start. So I really work with those women that are brand new, just
Mm-hmm.
starting out. They're aspiring to be an entrepreneur. That's who I work with.
So I love how you said, because there's two, just I want to, before we finish, because there's two main things that I know that you do out of everything that you do in your coaching is, how you like we talked a little bit about that, the transitioning from an employee to entrepreneur. And then I know you have 7 steps to thrive in life and business. So I wanted you to kind of talk a little bit about that.
Okay, so yes, so because I know the challenges of going from an employee to entrepreneur, and it's really I walk people through these barriers, these 7 steps, these areas from my book. So when I work with my clients, I understand their challenges. I get clarity around what are the challenges, what are they feeling right now, and the number one is fear of leaving their job they're making money. How do they make that transition? Now I have a paycheck. So we really lay out a plan, an exit strategy. Okay. What do you need to do to plan to leave? Okay. What's your mindset about? Like, what is your money relationship?
Mm-hmm.
Because it's all about money and that belief in
Mm-hmm.
themselves that they can't do it. And so that's
Mm-hmm.
what I work with them is really a lot of mindset and helping them to I understand their challenges and work through their beliefs, their barriers, what's holding them back. And how do we create a plan to exit? Because I tell everybody, you don't just quit a job and start a business.
Mm-hmm.
It's a plan. I was building a plan. I was building it for 6 years. Now it's a little longer than some would do, but it took me 6 years because I was making excuses. So I
Mm-hmm.
want to help people to get to that. What do you want? What do you desire? Really help them create a vision for themselves. Where they see them going,
Yeah.
in their life, and really, helping them with their strengths and values, helping them to understand their strengths that
Mm-hmm.
they can, be successful, really
Yes.
helping them to get clarity around that because a lot of them they don't know how do I manage a job and build a business at the same time? How do I make that transition? And that's where I help them, with managing their time. When do you work your business? When do you go to your job full time?
Mm-hmm.
I did it. I know how to, work full time
Yeah.
and then focus on my business part time.
Yeah.
So I really help them around those areas.
Yeah. I love that because you've been in the trenches where, I always tell people when we're coaches and stuff, we're like our own client, but maybe a few years back.
Yes,
So you've
yes,
been through all that. You understand. And somebody says, well, Tina, you just don't understand. I've been on my job. Look, let me tell, and I
I
can see you, and
understand.
let me tell you a story.
Exactly.
You can
Because
tell me
I
the story.
because I believe that for me, this is my belief. As a coach, you have to have done it. So I teach everything that I've gone through. All right. So I don't teach something that I just buy a book and then deliver it and say, okay, this is my program. No, everything that I have that I teach are programs that I created, that
Yes.
I've gone through myself.
It's your experience.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
My experience. Okay. My experience, my story, my struggles, my challenges that I've gone through myself
Yeah,
is what I
definitely.
teach.
And I like it just to add a little bit to what you were saying about, I know the 7 steps, and a lot of people just to put out there for Tina, you need to buy her book. Let's
Yes.
put that out there
Yes.
to get the
Yes.
rest and talk to her. But I wanted to just mention something that I even learned because I've been in the position because I'm in the position that I work a full-time job during the day and I have my own business. So I had to tell myself a few years ago that I can't be an entrepreneur and think like an employee.
That's right.
And see, that's what was hurting me.
That's right. That's
And
right.
I know with you, what you do with, understanding and clarity with, your clients and stuff, that's something you probably have to work with them because of, we so busy, the corporate world, and how we were employees, but now you're taking that and say, okay, now you have your own.
Exactly.
So everything that you can look at corporate, would you do everything in corporate for your own business? Well, some at the beginning, I know you start have to doing a lot of things of your own, but then you have to push yourself to say, okay, do I continue on? Do I set up ways moving forward? Because when you think about the CEO of a company is not planning people's meetings.
Right. No, exactly. You're doing it all. I mean, I'm working with a client right now, and one of the things that she said to me is, I'm the behind the scenes kind of person. I am not a marketing out there in the front. I said, well, if you want to be an entrepreneur, you have to be out in front. So shifting your mindset that you are now going to be marketing, you're going to be out there showing up. And I helped her to understand her problem that she solves for the client, because we are problem solvers, and we'd be selfish not to share our solution, or how we can help you, with your pains, with your problems that you have. And so she said, that's a very good point. I never thought of it that way. And I said, yeah. I said, so don't think of it as selling. Okay. Think of it as serving. You are sharing your knowledge, what your expertise is, and they need it from you because they can go elsewhere because there's competition.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
So that's what I was telling her.
I love that. I love how you said, no, you have to show up. Because, a lot of people, they are like, well, I can do everything. I'm the busy bee. I did all the behind the scenes. And now that you're an entrepreneur, you're like, you still want to do the busy stuff. But like you just said, Tina, you will have to be up front.
You've got to do it all.
Yeah.
You're doing it all. And that's the shift, because now you are in the driver's seat. You have to think differently. Yes. Okay. You're not a follower. You're a leader.
Yeah.
Okay. And that's the thing. You're not told by somebody else what to do. No, you're the one is doing it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And making it happen.
Yes.
But it goes back to because I help, women figure out their why. It goes back to their why, knowing their why. Why are they in business? What is it that's driving them? Mm-hmm. That is so important to know what your why is.
Ooh, yeah. Tina, I could talk to you. This has been a wonderful conversation. I love this. I was almost forgetting that we're live here, we're recording, because I just love what you mean. You are in the same boat, and I love when I find people that have the same mindset. So this has been amazing. But before we go, I need to make sure that you give some love on the screen. So I'm going to take myself down for 30 seconds, and you leave whatever else you need to leave for the wonderful audience. The Queen, Tina. I'll be right back.
Okay. So I want to share that, my 7 steps for you to thrive. And if you want to thrive in life instead of surviving, the number one thing is having faith. Believe in yourself, even when you don't know how it's going to turn out. Okay. Release is the R in freedom. Release, let it go of the outcome. Don't get so attached to the outcome. Explore the possibilities. Evaluation. I want you to step back and view the bigger picture. Where's your progress been? Evaluate what you've done to get you to this point. Okay. And then the second E is energy. It's all energy, physical, mental, emotional, spiritual. Where are you focusing on? Where are you putting your energy on today and going forward? So be mindful of your energy, because I believe everything is energy. And then D is determination. Determination that your passion will bring you through any obstacle. Okay. And how determined are you to make this happen? The O is optimism. Utilize those strategies when you're weathering the ups and downs. Are you optimistic? Do you really have that mindset that I'm going to get through this? And that determination will drive you through those obstacles. And the last step is mindset. M for mindset. No matter what, right here begins here. And I always believe in having a growth mindset. Always look for solutions, not the problem. Recognize the problem, but what action are you going to take to move you towards a solution? So those are my 7 steps that I help women really overcome the barriers that really keeps them stuck and stay where they are, and they don't make their dreams a reality. And so I'm going to leave you with this. I believe in you. You should believe in yourself, because you do have a lot of talent and gifts, but you just have to believe in yourself first, because if you don't believe in yourself and love yourself, no one else will. You got to love yourself first and believe. Those are my tips.
Queen, that was amazing. That's a drop mic. I didn't even want to come back up. I said, I'm going to let her just teach me. Teach us, Queen.
Thank you, Barbara. This has been a pleasure being here tonight.
Yes, lady. I appreciate you so much. And again, everybody, please reach out to Miss Queen Tina. I mean, you heard what she does. You heard her backstory. You heard her wisdom and guidance and expertise. So why wouldn't you reach out to this lady? I'm just saying. This is
That's
my
right.
Come on now, come on. So with that, people, Queen, I just want to let you know so much. You are always welcome. Your family now into the Coaches Lounge. You can always come back if there's anything that that I can support you or we can support you with, because I know the audience is listening, and just let me know and we'll have you back. Also, I just want to let everybody know too, if you are a coach, an educator, or a consultant, and you want to get spotlighted, because I believe that we need to show you are lighthouses to the world, and we need to make sure that they see, so we'll spotlight you. Come on over here to the Coaches Lounge, and we can get you on the calendar and get you going so people get to know who you are. So with that, again, Queen, appreciate you so much. Lighthouse to the world, lady. You keep making women and just people in general go from being from a job or whatever to having joy in their life, because it is so important.
Thank you, Barbara, for having me tonight.
And you have a nice day, week, whatever it is, whatever time zone it is. Just love you, and we will see you soon.
Okay.